Alright guys, so today we are talking about one of the newer LEGO sets to drop. This is the LEGO X Mansion, Xavier's School for Gifted Mutants. This is about 3,000 pieces, just a little over 10 minifigures. And this one, a little less than some of the other big sets, if you will, some of the other big Marvel sets. But one of them is this gigantic Sentinel, which is pretty freaking cool. And then if you notice some of the details here, almost all of the minifigures have these little crystal clear accessory pieces that kind of showcase their powers. So lots of levitation or movement, those kind of things. So that's kind of neat, you know, kind of makes up for the lack of numbers. Anytime you get into like double digits with minifigures, I'm overall pretty happy. One of the things I did like they do in some of the better sets, the booklets do go into a little more information on the background of the setting, some of the characters, some of the background of the story. You're looking at kind of like a Days of Future Past here, the Sentinels coming in and Magneto. So cool, really cool setting. One of the most iconic scenes, of course, in X-Men lore. I grew up on X-Men. It's probably my favorite comic series. So really cool to finally see them do a big X-Men setting. So dive into some of the details here, show you what makes this one kind of unique. One thing that I'll show you right away that's really neat is that unlike some of the other bigger Marvel sets, like the Avengers Tower, for example, or Spider-Man at the Daily Bugle, it's kind of hard to see some of the cool things going on beyond the battle scene. So, you know, LEGO loves to put some of the really unique little secrets in here, but you can't really see them because so much is happening inside the mansion itself. So you've got this great battle scene out front, but they did make it pretty easy to pull the mansion apart if you do want to highlight some of those things. So you can just kind of wiggle this guy out here a little bit. See, that kind of makes Cyclops fall off of his spot. He'll be all right. And then you can do the same thing over on this side just to see how easy it is to slide this apart. And then you can kind of see all of the unique little mini scenes going on in here. So we'll get a little closer in there, show you guys some of that stuff. So again, let's look at how awesome this Sentinel is. I will say that this was kind of annoying to put together because there's some flexibility issues down here in the knees particularly, and in the feet in terms of staying on the base and then actually staying together. But once you get it all done, it's not too bad. So I love the Wolverine on the motorcycle down here. You could see on the other side, they've got some little claw marks where he's kind of breaking himself with his claws. You've got Gambit flying up above the Sentinel. He's got Scott trapped in his little web there, still blasting him out. Inside, you can see where there's kind of some damage and stuff on the building here. You've got the danger room with all sorts of kind of changeable parts in there. You've got some little comments, some magazines and stuff. Professor Xavier, love that he's in his little wheelchair. Rogue, another one of these things you can see here, just kind of flying above. And then of course Magneto on top. You can remove this, it's kind of neat, and kind of take a peek down inside. Let's look inside here. You've got kind of the med bay set up, and you've got kind of the main little lobby. This one is really neat because there's all sorts of paintings and pictures and stuff on the wall that if you're kind of a long-term X-Men fan, you'll appreciate some of those. Cut a wanted poster slapped up here on the back with all of the captured X-Men, and this goes right along with the comics. If you're comics and then the old cartoon series as well, both had this exact same imagery in it. Over here, you know, again, you've got these guys coming from the future. So there's Bishop, there's Jean Grey, and then Iceman. I think it's really cool how he's kind of, this fire hydrant has exploded and he's, you know, freezing it. They've even got these little stands down here to give an angle to the iron post. You know, obviously Magneto's controlling these metal structures and kind of twisting them to his will. Some of the bedrooms and the library in here, really kind of neat details as well. This one is particularly cool, the bedroom. There's a lot of unique little treasures and stuff from Logan's life in here that those of you guys who followed along with Wolverine's story will really appreciate as you're putting it together. Of course, they love to hide some things in the dumpster. I'll leave that for you guys to find out. The little X-Men who didn't quite make the cut back here. Then a few more little details on the back sides, you know, basketball hoops and whatnot. You know, again, just overall, really cool details all around. I thought this was really nicely done to showcase some cool elements of the build that, you know, you might not see otherwise. There are some parts of this that are even more destructible. I'm not gonna tear it up here, but it's kind of neat that you can kind of blow up the building some more if you want to do that and have more of a destroyed look. But overall, super thrilled with the design, with the little secret details and stuff. I will say that because of how easy it is to put together, it's also kind of easy to come apart. So one of those things you need to be careful when you're moving it, just to try to hold everything together, or move it in pieces and then assemble it all together once you've got it where you want it. Really good buy. I think this is priced pretty fairly. I think it's priced accordingly with some of the other Marvel series that they've done.